Hey, everybody. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Jim. Glad to have you guys here today. I'm a little bit nervous about making this, but I thought I'd go ahead and give it a whirl. I'm going to explain to you right now who I am and what my goals are for the podcast and what I would like to do with it. I'm 64 years old. I live in the state of Florida, and I'm an avid gun and knife collector and into other interests. I'm also a ham radio operator and I'm into fixing, repairing guns, building 80 percenters, and all this other stuff. I watch and listen to quite a few podcasts that are related to the subject and Pro 2A, and I am as well. And I've got some things to go over with, and I'm going to have some guests coming on at some point from time to time. I'm probably going to be pretty boring in the beginning because I really don't know what I'm doing, but I trying to figure all this new technology out for an old guy. This is hard to keep up with in some cases, but for the most part, I've figured out a lot of it. I've been able to put some things together that works out pretty well. I'm still working on my studio. I'm in my garage, which is my man cave. I'll be giving you a tour of that at some point. I also have some other things on here that are pretty cool in terms of um, like how do you keep up with your inventory for your collections? Doesn't necessarily have to be guns, doesn't have to be knives, it could be anything. And I've written some I'm not gonna say programs, but I've done some things in Excel that are pretty neat, and I'll be showing those as well. I don't know that I should do the video part. I am gonna post it on YouTube. Yeah, that's what it is, a YouTube. It's YouTube, obviously, but I'm gonna go ahead and put that up here and let it, percolate as long as it does okay. I'm going to continue to do it. I'm gonna keep the original ones or the beginning of this podcast around 15 minutes or so, give or take. I don't know if I got 15 minutes worth of crap to talk about or not. But with that said, I'm also gonna be doing some live streams, and I would really like the interaction with people with the comments and so forth. It may not interest anybody. I may not get any popularity out of it. I'm not trying to make money on YouTube. I'm just trying to share my knowledge, what there is of it and what's left of it, my old age. I have some physical things that don't work properly, and I hope staying active will help me live a little longer, maybe. Who knows, right? But, you old farts might enjoy coming in here. I'm gonna talk about some of the podcasts that I watch or listen to. I listen to, Ava Fennell, I think is the way she pronounced her name. She has a podcast called, Gun Funny. She's also started a new one, I think it's called the Pew Pew Report or something like that. Um, I don't think she has a very thick gun knowledge base, and this is my opinion. She easy on the eyes, obviously, and she does have interesting guests on her podcast. So I'll give her that. And she's been doing it for quite a long time and apparently quite successful with it because she seems to be pretty well off. But with that said, she does have the good guest. I don't think her gun knowledge is very deep, but that's all good. Then I started watching We Like Shooting. These guys have 2 shows a week, and their first show is called Double Tap, and it's about an hour long, and the other one is a couple 2 or 3 hours, depending upon what's going on. They have several people in the cast. I thought at first they were a bunch of idiots, but these guys actually have the gun knowledge. They do have the terminology and knowledge base, especially on full automatics. There's one guy on there called Jeremy. He's a bit of a dick, but he definitely knows what he's talking about. The guy that runs the whole thing, I'm pretty impressed with him as well. And the other cast members do okay. Aaron, I get a kick out of because he is the comedian in the group, and his humor seems to be along the lines of mine. But I won't speak about the others. I'll go more detail on that when we bring up the show and narrate what I think of the show overall. And that's kind of what I want to do is pull up these different things, talk about them. Most of it's positive. I really don't have anything negative. And then I'm into the knives, and I've been watching all the knife guys. And there's a slew of those guys out there, and they don't really do podcasts, but they have a lot of content. There's a few of them that do podcasts. I really haven't gotten into that. And when you're listening to a podcast that is related to an item like a knife or something like that, without the visual, it's a challenge. So basically, I don't know what the difference between the video and a podcast is. Um, you got both formats. So I'm still trying to figure out all that. But at any rate, I'm into the knives. I do want to show you some of that. I do have another camera, and I am able to use this. I have wires and stuff. Everything's a wreck right now. But as you can see, I have the ability to do multiple things. Of course, I could bring my screen up or do whatever. I also have some overlays that I'm playing with and things of that nature. But with all that said, I'm looking for ideas and comments. Tell me what direction you'd like me to go in. Would you like to see more of the collection? We can go over each gun. I have an extensive collection of 1911s. A lot of my guns are older simply because I've been collecting for the last 40 years. I started collecting very young, and I would go to pawn shops and look around for stuff. Didn't have any money in my pocket. And I would go in and negotiate and get to know the guys and go, hey, can I put this on layaway? And I kept maybe 4 or 5 guns on layaway all the time. I mean, literally all the time. I was not a person that had to have instant gratification. I was okay with the fact that I'm going to get it down the road. I know that I've locked it up. As a matter of fact, I have a gun right now in the back room that I can pay cash for at a local gun store that I do their web pages for. And I just said, throw it in the back. I'm going to go over there this week and pick it up. And it's a ZZ, and I'll probably bring it on the channel and talk about it. So the physical attributes of being able to see what I'm talking about and what I'm doing, I think is going to be more attractive than just listening to this podcast. At the end of the day, I just need to try to be interactive and figure out how to do all this and be more personable. And hopefully I can achieve that. I have a speech impairment to some degree, so I'm going to pronounce some words wrong. And if you don't like it, fuck you. Because I'm doing the best I can do, right? At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So I could be myself on here. I like doing the videos. I like doing the shorts. I have my YouTube channel up to about 400 subscribers. I really haven't put any effort into that until the beginning of this summer. I was at 38 subscribers, and then I started doing shorts and doing other things, trying to get it to build some momentum. And I'm up to about 400 subscribers last time I checked. My views are not as high as I would like them to be. On the shorts, they do pretty good. Some can get in the thousands, some are few, not even 100. So I don't know what makes things popular for people or what they need for that. But let me see. I'm having a camera difficulty right now with a camera. Let's show you guys. What do you think that's about? Loose connection? Yep, it's a loose connection. That's crazy. See if I can bring that camera back. All right, let's see. Well, that didn't help me. Extra camera. There we go. I don't know what that thing's doing. I have no idea. At any rate, it doesn't matter, I guess, but it's flaking out on me a little bit. I'm using a USB dongle or capture card or whatever, and it's really not the best. I'm going to try it another avenue. I'm still working out the kinks, guys. So bear with me on that. So I've talked now for about 10 minutes. I got 5 more minutes to go. I want to definitely meet my goal of 15 minutes. I appreciate anybody that's tuned in. Hopefully I'll get some views on this or some listens. And that's the other challenge. I've got to post this thing now, and I'm not sure how to do all that so it's in all the right places like Apple, is it Spotify? And, supposedly I've got this service that will take this and distribute it throughout the system. So I don't even know how to check for comments or do any of that crap yet. I'll hopefully get that figured out at some point. I hope the audio is okay. You can comment on that. And my goal is to do this. So there's one that comes out every Monday night. I don't know exactly what time I'm going to release it. I probably should do it consistently on the same time and the same day. That's the goal anyway. So I'll drop it sometime Monday evening, which is tonight. Today is Monday. And I don't know what time quite yet, but once I get that locked in, I'll be able to put that in here all the time. So other than that, I don't know really what else to add except for I'm going to share what I know. Hopefully some interest in that from you guys, and we'll get some traction, I hope. I'm glad that we got some cooler weather down here right now in Florida. Finally, we're not going to break but about 82 degrees. And that's what Florida's all about this time of year. And I'd love to hear where you guys are from, what countries and what states. That's important to me to find out what everybody's doing and where they're from. And let me shut this camera off. At any rate, I'm in great hopes that, oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. It gives me a little screen like that when the camera is not on board. And I guess I can stop camera. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I'm learning a lot of stuff. And if I'm looking up away from the camera, I've got a screen above, and I'm actually moving back and forth between the laptop and the screen above. And I'm playing around with different things like these banners. I think I mentioned that already. Different logos. And we'll get all the kinks worked out of it. And hopefully you guys will get in here. I'm going to try to have guests. That's real important to me. And I'm going to shoot for the moon like the guys from We Like Shooting and the different knife guys. I'm really interested in getting with them and picking their brains because the knife guys have a great deal of knowledge. The way they rapid fire their reviews and do their techniques is pretty interesting to me. There's Lefty EDC, which I think is the guy that's probably the village idiot. And I mean that in a loving way of the group. He just throws the shit out there. And it's amazing to me, his popularity. His video quality is okay. His audio quality's okay. And he just fumbles. I mean, a lot. And I'm not saying that in a sarcastic way because I'm going to do the same crap. So I'm not too worried about screwing up because his popularity is so good that he generally has a lot of views and people like him. Plus, he's made some knives. He makes great knives, and we'll have those on the podcast and also on my YouTube channel. And I've already had some on there, but his knives are incredible. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting for the nip right now that just released last week. So I can't wait to get it. I should have it today or tomorrow. Then you've got Bees Blades, I think is what it's called, or I don't know, but he does a live stream every single Friday for 2, 3, or 4 hours. And he's got a huge following, which is pretty impressive. Then you got what's the other guy? There's some new guys I've been watching. There's Jared and his wife have a stream on the weekend as well, and I think during the week too. I'm not sure what her name is or the name. Needs Knives, I think, is the name of their channel, but he does a fairly good job as well. I'm not as impressed with. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm not impressed. I'm not unlikely to watch him as much as I am some of the other guys. And we'll have them all in here and kind of critique them. I know nobody gives a shit what I think, but it'd be fun to look at their techniques because I think they all have a niche and do a good job. And same way with the podcasters. And that's the other thing. How do you find your podcast? I have a hard time with that because I am a gun enthusiast and knife enthusiast. So that's what I look for mostly. If you can tell me how to find those as well, that would be great. But at any rate, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm at my 15 minutes. I managed to get there. I rambled a lot, but I'm in great hopes that this will take off and you'll find some interest in it. I'm going to do something else here. No, I'm not, I guess. I'm going to figure out how to close the show. I guess what I can do is just tell you guys goodbye. And I appreciate you checking in. At any rate, again, my name is Jim. If you want to find me on YouTube, I'm What Dugan Thinks. I've got well over 100 videos over there now, from drones to guns to knives to cooking. That's the other thing on here I really want to do is get into cooking and talk about different things that you use on a daily basis, spices and so forth. And that kind of thing. I just want it to be someplace to hang out. The live streams are going to be really the main focus, but I do want to get this podcast out. And again, it's going to be 15 minutes in the beginning every week. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.